Welcome everyone to the March edition of the Roundtable. We're going to actually take care of some slightly unfinished business here before we get started. And we do have the deepest regrets. Mr. McManus is once again unable to join us this month because he was whisked away on a business trip out of nowhere. And in fact, he checked in from Switzerland earlier tonight, and I believe in Switzerland it's well past midnight, so I suspect he's already getting prepared for tomorrow and sleeping away. But just thought we might spend a moment and take care of some slightly unfinished business from last month. As you know, those of you that were here, and many of you were last month, we did have our Academy Awards edition of the Roundtable, and you know, sometimes these things get a little bit turbulent. As it turns out, our accounting firm and you know, all the security teams and everything that we engaged discovered that there were a couple of awards that were left unawarded last month. And it turned out there was a little bit of an accounting discrepancy, and lo and behold, there were 2 Oscar statues left without a home, and it turns out they actually belong to Mr. McManus. And since we can't have one of these meetings without a hat for Hugh, this month we figured we'd just go ahead and crown him. So that's the theme and why we crowned him there. And it's too bad he's not here to enjoy this. Hugh actually had, through the end of last year, the highest overall relative return and the best overall accuracy for the selections made through the end of 2010. So we give him those 2 statues. He didn't designate anybody to accept them on his behalf in his absence, so we'll just start the orchestra music, and we did put his 2 friends, Spock and Kirk, there to give us that little reminder that we do want to be more like Spock, a little bit less like Kirk when it comes to investing in honor of his presentation last month. So with that, we'll go ahead and get into the regular program, but again, we'll tip our hat not just once, but at least twice to Hugh McManus and his exploits so far. All right, well, welcome everybody. Like Ken said, we see many familiar names. If you're new to this, we'll talk a little bit about this in a brief introduction. The Roundtable is something we started mid-2010. I'm going to spend just a few minutes mapping out what we're trying to do, and then I'll present just a big picture concept or a few comments for a few minutes. Once again, I don't believe we have any stock within the tracking portfolio that merits a challenge, and then Ken and Cy will share their selections. I'll have a few words about Hugh's presentation or his selection for the month, and then we've got some special treats for those of you that are here tonight with respect to that presentation. Just our quick reminder, again, almost all of you have been in sessions where you've seen these words. Just to boil it down, this is about education. It's not about anything else. We're going to talk about real companies in real time, express our opinions, trust but verify, illustrative purposes only. What is this about? We gather every month towards the end of the month. I think this is our first Sunday night edition. We do to kind of move it around a little bit to kind of match up with our schedules, and also to give you, the attendees and audience, a variety of opportunities to attend. I'm pleased to be joined by my dear friends, Ken Kabula, very, very prominent in the mid-Michigan area for scores of investors in this area, and Ken also serves as chair of the Volunteer Advisory Board for Better Investing, the association. Cy Lynch is also joining us. We both have known Cy for many years. I've worked with him in a variety of capacities over the years, and again, Cy is just a real joy to have around and harvest a few ideas from, even if he does cheer for the wrong baseball team. All right, so what we're trying to do here, you know, this is a demonstration. We do create a model or a tracking portfolio. We are trying to achieve a portfolio that over the long term will achieve a performance level that is 5 percentage points better than the general stock market as measured by the Wilshire 5000. Here's a look at the selections that we have made since last July. We've actually had only one position closed during that time frame. And again, we almost don't even like to look at this. Think back to the early days that you may have been involved with an investment club, or even your early days as an individual investor. You really shouldn't start measuring too soon. In this case, you can see we've actually had a little bit of a cold streak of late, and SI continuously is warning us that happens fairly frequently within our community, and that sometimes we just simply have to give patients time to really for our selections to kick in. But you can see the very first selections were made back in July. Eli Lilly, Stryker, Abbott, and BioReference Labs, right down to the selections made last month of CSCO, Hawken, that's the ticker symbol HWKN, and the last one that you see there is ResMed. And again, we measure the success of every selection made for the portfolio based on how it performs versus the market. Its performance, the performance of the selection minus the market return measured by the Wilshire 5000 over the same time frame is what we call the relative return. We're getting a little bit of feedback, and we may have to look for a mute if we need to there, guys. Here we are shooting for at least a plus 5% relative return over the long term, and we'd really like to see the accuracy rating. Again, that's just a measure of which ones have outperformed the benchmark, somewhere in that 60 to 70% range, and we fully expect that to be to take shape over time. Here's a look at the portfolio dashboard style, and I'll invite any comments from the guys if they want to kick in on any of these. They're ranked from top to bottom, the highest projected annual returns down to the lowest. Again, there's nothing low enough to really merit a whole lot of attention or concern at this point. We are just getting started. Zhongpin has been hammered a little bit lately. The two-time selections of Zhongpin have come down a little bit, but Ken tells us that the Chinese people are still interested in pork, so we're not overly concerned about that. The selection has only been a couple months old, and again, it just needs time to bake.
Mark, we're getting a question from Susan. She wants to know: are any of these statistics posted on the Manifest site?
Yeah, if you look under the published dashboards on the right-hand side, we actually do we keep this dashboard available, and then within the portfolio management, design and management section of the forum, we post all of these discussions, and in some cases, some of the stock studies themselves. So it is shared and something that you can take a look at and refer to. And Dan Hornick, our producer, actually records. So these selections, for example, Ken's selection of ResMed is available as a YouTube video. I think we featured it on the Facebook page, and they're available in the Manifest forum also. And Dan is gearing up to basically create a library of videos that is indexed with the new site. So we'll also have that at our disposal. Anything else out there, Ken, that people are curious about?
No, we're clear at the moment, Mark. Okay.
So you can see that there's been a pretty wide distribution. Again, think back. If this were an investment club, we'd be in our very formative stages. I don't think any of the four of us are at all concerned about sector diversification yet, or any of those type of things. We are keeping pretty close watch on the growth rate of the overall portfolio and for the size diversification, but in general, it's just a portfolio that's taking shape, and you're invited to watch us make the next three selections here tonight. Okay, with that, I would like to just kind of transition into just a short discussion of kind of a big picture concept that's on my mind right now, and it has to do with the effective hunt or search, or whatever you want to call it, quest for the best. And I think this is one of the tools that has really come into, or resources that has really come into its own in the last few years. We're obviously biased. We think our screening tools and resources are pretty powerful, but I think we really have gone from the days of yore when you kind of lucked onto some of the selections that we made in our clubs, and we did our stock comparison guides and our industry studies and perhaps discovered one company because of another. But again, if you go back 20, 30, 40 years, you're probably looking at a situation where in many cases it was either chasing hot stock tips or kind of shotgunning or or throwing darts and hoping that you landed on a company that may be in the buy zone. Fast forward to today, the last few years, when basically we have tools at our fingertips where we can start to really, laser beam focus in on, where the opportunities reside. And I think over the longer term, that should really serve us pretty well. And again, we lean on George Nicholson's advice to really search for industry leaders and seek the best. So some interesting tools at our disposal to do that. And Ken was talking as we came together tonight about the weekend event out in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And I was just reminded several times over, again, I sat next to Susan Gauld at lunch. Just wonderful opportunities to come together and share thoughts. And that's what those events are about. And, we're talking about the world of investing as a community. And the number of people that came up to the gentleman there in the photo, that happens to be our colleague, Kurt Kowitz, and it is the newest member of the Manifest family, Charlie, down there in the lower left. And many of you know Kurt over the years from his work with the online stock data at NEIC Better Investing, and he just does some wonderful work for us now, creating tools and that kind of stuff. And many of the attendees at that Ann Arbor regional event, came up and said, "Wow, there he is in person," and he was able to show off a bunch of stuff. And one of the things he was able to do in person was to issue the invitation to any attendee to explore the beta, the new site, some of the enhancements that he's developing. Beta.manifestinvesting.com is how you get there. And in the spirit of, we think we really do have better tools for targeting opportunities for better stock studies these days. Here's just one example. The new screening device, the stock search at the beta site, actually includes a couple of neat features where you can just click on and it automatically fills in the sweet spot. And again, for those of you that may be less familiar with Manifest Investing, that is basically taking the median projected return on all the stocks in the universe that we follow, about 2,700 stocks in our database, and currently that's sitting right at about 7.5%. We define the sweet spot as the zone or the candidates for study that are between 5 and 10 percentage points greater than that 7% median. So in other words, we take that 7.5% average stock, if you want to think of it that way, and we go hunting for stocks that are 5%, between 5 and 10 percentage points higher. So in this case, you can see right on the screen the 12.5 to 17.5 spread, as it's shown right here. So that's the minimum we're going after, and that's the maximum. One of the other things that he's added is this notion of a manifest rank. And again, what the manifest rank is, without getting too deep into it, is simply a way to look at the combination effect of both par and quality, basically giving them somewhat equal weighting, recognizing that they're both important, and then we basically build that magic number that we've talked about over the years, and then rank them for all 2,700 companies. And in this case, what I've done is gone in and just entered this 99.5, because what I want to do is just look at the very top, 1% of all companies that happen to be in the sweet spot. So when you're using this, you're going to be looking at numbers, use numbers like 99 to 99.5. So you're only looking at that top percentile. And lo and behold, look at some of the companies that come up. My selection last month of Hawkins for the tracking portfolio here at the Roundtable, Abbott Labs. There were a lot of questions this weekend about opportunities in Aflac. For some reason, Ken can't stop talking about the Chinese companies. You mentioned a bunch of them this weekend. Apple, interestingly enough, at the top of the candidate list. And then Ken also had many words on Dolby Labs, our Solomon Select choice for the month of September, or month of March, in our most recent newsletter. So again, Kurt invited many people to take a look, and we extend that invitation to everybody here tonight. Go ahead, take a look. You basically just substitute beta for www and access the site using the same login and password that you do at the normal site. So I'll just close my portion of the program with just a reminder that one of the most popular things we've done in the 6.5 years we've been around is this offer to help investment clubs and to spread Manifest out amongst all of the club partners. Clubs sign up for a single fee, $219. This is a one-time exclusive offer, guys, and the price will be going up. I don't know when, but it'll be going up soon. But for $219 for a club of 20 people, they basically can access Manifest for $10 a year, and for that first year, and really have some fun. So if you want more details about it, we do often get the question, what about me, Mark? I've been a loyal subscriber and been around for a couple of years. If you're a current subscriber, we simply add a year to your current extension. And we simply do that as a token of gratitude, because we know that this will allow you to use Manifest in the club environment, and to help your club partners find tools like that stock search we were just talking about, because we really do believe that the results-based stock search method really does help people to discover effective opportunities for study. So again, any more questions, if you have any comments or you want to pursue this more, just send me an email. There's my email at the bottom of the screen.